What's going on, guys? Welcome back to a brand new video on the channel. Inside of today's video, we're currently in New York, so things are a bit sketch, but we have so many balance changes to talk about. We've got a bunch of buffs, nerfs, and of course the Hypercharges is going to be ranking really quickly. So again, apologies for the poor quality. So first buff, it's to do with Hank. So Hank is receiving a tank trait, so whenever he takes damage, he's going to be getting his super. So this is actually a really good change considering Hank just gets bullied the whole game, so I think this could actually make Hank pretty good. The next buff is with Primo. So with Primo, his health is going from 12,000 to 12,600. Next we have a buff with Griff's super damage, so it's going from 1,320 to 1,440. So this is a really nice change with Griff, just because Griff, again, other damage dealers were just so much better than him. He was always underrated, but only really used to break open the map. So a big super damage buff is going to help him shred through tanks a lot easier. And I could quickly see Griff becoming maybe like an A-tier brawler. Now we have a buff with Lou. So his reload speed is going from 1,300 to 1,100, which is a pretty substantial buff. You can see here already that the reload speed is quite clearly a lot better. But Lou was in an okay spot. He was getting power crept a little bit by the other damage dealers, but this is definitely going to put Lou right back in the meta. The next buff is with Willow. So Willow's projectile super is being increased from 50 to 150. This is obviously it's ×3 change, which is huge. I think Willow, it's been, she's underrated in the meta, but with her super, it was always so hard to hit. So now you're just going to hit this a lot more frequently. You're going to make more plays, especially in Brawler and whatever else. So really nice change. Now we have balance change, which we already knew about, which is with Miko. So his health is going from 6,000 to 6,600 to a 600 HP buff, which is actually pretty substantial. That's 10%. I think it's really going to help him out in those 1v1s. Again, it might not become clear straight away that this is a nice buff, but I think over time he will definitely be a more viable option. So next up we have a buff with Charlie. So main health is going from 6,600 to 7,000, so 400 HP buff. I think the reason for this is because we didn't want to make Charlie too meta again, because increasing her supercharge rate might make her too strong. So HP allows her to get into the gunfights a little bit easier. I could see it making a tiny difference. So next up we have a buff with Maisie. So her main attack damage is going from 2,800 to 3,000. So only 200 change, but this actually feels really good. 3k damage, so 3 shots, 9k damage. That is pretty good. Maisie, as I was trying to tell you guys for the longest time, was not a meta brawler. This could help her again. I don't think it's going to be like the craziest buff, but we'll have to wait and see. And lastly, for the buffs, we have Nani's Hypercharge. So Nani's Hypercharge stats are being buffed. It used to be 15% speed and 15% damage. This is being buffed by 10% each, which is probably going to be better because you probably just use Nani's Hypercharge, not with the super now. So at least you can get some big damage with this. Now we're moving on to the nerfs, starting off with Mo. He's receiving 2 nerfs. So his reload speed is being increased from 1,500 to 2,000. So not only has he had a projectile speed in the past, look at his reload speed. It is taking forever now, so he's going to get punished more easily. And his super damage is going from 1,600 to 1,200 in both ways. So technically like 3 nerfs for Mo. I mean, Mo definitely, I can see him being like a C tier, maybe even D tier brawler with his changes. Clancy is receiving another nerf, so his level 3 movement speed boost is going from 170 to 1,000. You can definitely feel this straight away. I mean, it's still a speed boost, right? But, well, not 1,100, sorry. It's still a speed boost, but it's not going to be like anything crazy. I don't think it's going to be the best brawler level 3 anymore. And I definitely see Clancy probably falling like to the D tier. So next we have a nerf with Piper's gadget. So her auto-aimer gadget has her slow removed now, which I've been asking for literally the longest time, which is going to be good. It just means you might not get a free shot onto him straight away. And this gadget will still be pretty good, but of course it won't mean that she can just counter everything. We have a nerf with Melody. So this is an anticipation for her Hypercharge, because no way she should be getting a nerf before that. So her super is taking 5 hits instead of 4 to charge up. So this is actually a substantial nerf, but at the same time, I think that's because her Hypercharge is going to be very, very strong. So it's going to take a little more while to cycle through supers. But once you get that Hypercharge, I think you'll just delete everyone. We have Surge. His main HP is going from 6,600 to 6,000. So again, this is pretty substantial nerf. Next up, we have a nerf with Kenji. So his reload speed is going from 800 to 1,000, which seems like a substantial nerf, to be honest. His reload speed was just crazy. So now you're going to have to pick your moments a lot more. But with Kenji, I still think he's going to be a meta brawler just because of the fact that he has his lifesteal ability trait, and then of course just he's able to just wipe through people easily with his super steal. So yeah, it's definitely a nice change. It's going to affect his DPS and just overall survivability, but it's going to turn him down a bit. And the final nerf is with RICO. So RICO is receiving a nerf to his multiple launcher damage. per ball. I think it used to do like, well, it said 280, and now it's 240. So, I mean, you can just see here the nerf. I think it's a small nerf, but because RICO's a brawler, of course, you could just spam through gadgets and kill everything. I think it's going to be a lot more approachable now. Yeah, I think that's about 1,000 damage less, 2,000 damage up close, so pretty nice nerf. Now we're going to rank in all 6 new Hypercharges, starting off with Eve's Hypercharge. So with Eve's Hypercharge, basically it'll be like a Mr. P's spawner until it decays. It'll just infinitely spawn out hatchlings. So this is like 4, 5, 6, then maybe like up to 9 hatchlings, which is actually pretty toxic. But the reason why I think it'll be the least powerful one out of the new ones is mainly because like people can still shoot this, and you've got the fact that it takes 2.5 supers to charge. So although, you know, this could definitely make Eve a lot more toxic and a lot more viable, I mean, it could be an underrated one. It could be very annoying, as you can see. We'll have to just wait and see and test it out. So as the 5th best new Hypercharger, I went with Berry's Hypercharge. So I could see this being very good with like a healer composition. So he heals twice, and it's also extended, which you can get some good super cycling right here. I think it's going to be pretty good. I mean, it could be pretty good. I just don't think it's better than the other ones. Again, I think it's going to be really good in like hot zone and areas where you just really need to control the zone. Like, look at this amount of zone you can cover. It takes 2.5 supers to charge as well. So again, that could be the biggest problem with Larry. So at number 4, I went with Gray. So his Hypercharge takes 2.2 supers to charge up. As you can see, you get 1,000 HP shield, which actually decays in very little amount of time, and you actually get to use 2 teleporters at the same time. So I think this could be a very good Hypercharge, especially combined with certain archetypes. Like, you could really extend the range of your super here. So again, you can just like put one here, and you could just go crazy across the map, and you're constantly getting this 1,000 shield as well. Like, you can go so far with this. I mean, I think it's going to be very underrated and toxic. We'll have to just test this out. Maybe Gray can be like at the top of the meta again with this. So at number 3, we have Janet's Hypercharge. So with Janet's Hypercharge, you're able to control where you're going a lot more easily with her Hypercharge. I think this is going to be a pretty good one. Maybe I've overestimated it a little bit, but I just think it's going to help her out. She definitely needs just a Hypercharge in terms of her base stats to allow her to win a lot of gunfights. So I think that's going to be like the underlying factor. It also only takes 2 supers to gain this Hypercharge. So I just think having the Hypercharge, just the ability to, of course, like, you could just pop this, and as the Hypercharge is about to expire, then you can just go about this, because look, you can just move around whenever you want a lot more freely. Again, I think it could be really nice. So now moving on to the 2nd best Hypercharge coming out is Ash's Hypercharge. So I'm very scared about this. He's definitely going to be meta. So you get double the rats, which is insane. This is going to help him build up his super more. It's going to help him just be more survivability. It's going to help him deal more damage, and it's the fact that it takes 2 supers to charge up this Hypercharge, which is absolutely insane. He's going to be so tanky, he's going to be so fast, and he's just going to destroy everything. I think he's clearly going to be S tier with his Hypercharge. Again, doesn't seem like anything crazy. It's just like twice the amount of rats, but because it takes 2 supers to get everything combined, he's going to be so good in this meta. Okay, moving on to the best Hypercharge in the game, we have Melody's Hypercharge. So Melody's Hypercharge, she'll be able to gain up to 3 more notes with this Hypercharge, which is pretty insane. Like, again, this is going to be a really good one, although it takes a little while to charge up. You can pop the Hypercharge here, and you can see I just get additional notes, and which is just crazy. Like, the amount of damage you can deal on a high save, for example, it's going to be insane. And you can tell it's going to be really good Hypercharge because of the fact that she was already nerfed in her super charge rate literally before this Hypercharge came out. So you just know it's going to be so good. You can see with every super you gain a note, which is just going to be crazy. I think it's going to be very, very good. But that's going to be it for today's video, guys. Hope you enjoyed. Let me know what you think of the list in the comment section below, and I'll see you guys next time.